Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to discuss infectious enterocolitis. So we will be discussing the microorganisms which cause infection in the intestine. So there is a big list of the microorganisms, but out of which the three are ultra important that we will discuss in the session. So we will be discussing typhoid, tuberculosis, and amoebic ulcer. So if you are getting a long question, which is rare, on infectious enterocolitis, you have to write down all three. And if you are getting an individual question on any of them, that is typhoid, TB or amoebic ulcer, it will be a short question and you have to write down that portion only. We are starting the topic that is infectious enterocolitis. So let me give you an overview, the headings under which I am going to discuss this topic. So what is infectious enterocolitis? So these are the microorganisms which cause infection in the intestine. So there is a list of microorganisms which cause. So first I will give you the important causes and the list of that microorganism. Among them, three are ultra important as I told you, that is typhoid fever, amoebiasis and intestinal tuberculosis. So we will be discussing the three under a fixed set of heading. I will let you know the causative agent of each of them, the mode of transmission, incubation period, pathogenesis, morphology, clinical features and complications of each of them. So if you are getting a long question, as I told you, you have to write down all three in a comparative manner also you can learn. I will give you a comparative table between them. And if you are getting an individual question either on typhoid fever or amoebiasis or intestinal tuberculosis, there are more chances that you will get an individual question. So you have to write down that portion only. So let's start them one by one and let's fill this comparative table with me. So take out your notebook, take out your pen right now. While watching the session only, you please fill this table. And if you have the hard copy of the book, start filling in the book directly. So take out, and we will be starting first with the typhoid fever. So let's start with the typhoid fever. Okay, so before that I will give you the list of complete microorganisms. So some of them are bacteria, some of them are viruses, some of them are fungus, and some of them are parasites. So these are the list of organisms that cause infection in the intestine. Itis is the infection, inflammation and infection. So inflammation and infection of the intestine. Entero means intestine. So it is the intestinal infection and inflammation by a list of microorganisms. Among the bacteria, the important one are TB, Salmonella, Campylobacter jejuni, Shigella, E. coli, and Yersinia, and Vibrio. So these are the bacteria. Viruses, there is no list for that. Many viruses cause that. Among the fungus, the important one are Candida and Mucormycosis. And among the parasites, important one are Giardia, Amoebic stoltica, Balantridium coli, Taenia solium, Ascaris lumbricoides, Ankylostoma duodenale, and Strongyloides stercoralis. So this is the complete list of the microorganism. Among them, I will be discussing TB, Salmonella, two among the bacteria and one among the parasite, that is Amoebic stoltica, which is the protozoa. We will be discussing these three in detail. Others are not yet very important, that will come in your exam. So we have seen in many universities in the previous years, these three are repeatedly asked. So among all the causes of infective enterocolitis, these three we will discuss in detail and make a comparative table with them. So we will start with the first one, typhoid fever. Let's start the first one, typhoid fever. So what is the causative agent of the typhoid? We all know the causative agent of the typhoid is a bacteria. It's a gram-negative motile bacteria. The name of the bacteria is Salmonella typhi and Salmonella paratyphi. So Salmonella typhi and paratyphi causes typhoid fever. I guess everyone knows that. You may have read this in microbiology also. What's the mode of the transmission? Mode of transmission is eating, ingestion. Can you see a girl? This girl. So the girl is eating the food and water that is contaminated with Salmonella typhi. So ingestion of the contaminated food and water. So the person is eating the contaminated food, contaminated water, and getting infection. So ingestion of contaminated food and water. And second, via direct spread. So by touching, finger to mouth contact of the feces, urine or other secretion. So if the child is touching the feces, touching the urine or touching other secretion and putting the fingers, the contaminated fingers in the mouth. So that can be direct transmission. Incubation period is 7 to 14 days. You have to learn the incubation period for all. Now I'm telling you the pathogenesis. Now, when the person, the human, is eating the food and drinking the water which is contaminated with Salmonella typhi or paratyphi, so the organism, can you see the organism? It will go inside. It will go in the mouth, in the esophagus, and in the stomach. In the stomach, they survive the gastric acid. The gastric acid cannot kill them. They bypass the gastric acid. They are resistant to gastric acid. So Salmonella first enter in human body via contaminated food and water. It reaches the stomach. In the stomach, they are resistant to gastric acid. They will survive. After that, they will go in the small intestine. From